for attendance. There you go. All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for coming to attend our first meeting of 2022. If we can make sure that everybody is muted, so that way we don't have any inadvertent outbursts or anything like that, that would be awesome. So the first thing that I have on the docket is we have so everybody knows that we're as a part of Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees. We are a society of contractors. That's great. You can choose to take assignments through Rocky Mountain. You can choose to take assignments through anybody else. There is another league that is going on that is not utilizing Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees. That's CIRA. So this year, if you are interested in doing CIRA, no one from Rocky Mountain Management is kind of in charge of that. The person that you need to contact is Amy Russert. She is the manager for that. Her email address is Amy, AMY.Russert, RUSERT @gmail.com. So that is a thank you, whoever posted that. She is the point of contact for that. So think about that when it comes to our development. So Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees takes a cut of the money that the teams pay and then utilizes that to pay for our coaches. It pays for our exchanges. It pays for our fun stuff that we do as socials. So that if there's any questions, please raise your hand or unmute yourself. I'll give this about a minute if anybody has any questions. You are
Joe. Joe, I mean, what is the society's position on this?
The position is go ahead, go forth, referee rugby. It's not, we're not going to ban you. You're a contractor. Like the one thing that we don't have on offer to us is the amount of money that we get as a society to support people that can help develop you. You know, some people need game time. Some people need minutes of refereeing. If that's you, then, you know, we as Rocky Mountain do have a lot of opportunities to you, but if for some reason you want to referee a specific CIRA team, then go forth, do rugby, referee it safe. That's what we kind of ask for. Any other questions? Cool. So talking about what this society does for you. I don't see him on here unless he is iPhone. Chris Brewer is putting on, is assisting us putting on the Winter Social. That is this Saturday in Denver. We sent out a link to the form to sign up so that way we can put you on a team and make it a little bit of competition. It's a scavenger hunt. So you start at one location and then you go throughout the city of Denver. It's about 2 miles of walking or running, depending on how competitive you are. And it ends back at Union Station, where we will have food and drink for a short period of time, get to socialize, get to see each other in a non-rugby sense. Any questions on that? Everybody got the form and just chose to sign up or not sign up.
I didn't get the form. Is there any way I can be added to that?
Sure. It's I will make sure it was on the distribution list. It was on, if you got an agenda for this, it's actually a clickable link. I think I usually highlight it and make it say here. So if you click on here, you can sign up. But yes, we'll resend it out. Signups are due by the end of the day on Wednesday. We can have up to 13 teams. This is your hard-earned society money at work. And if this is not something that you find fun, talk with recruitment and retention. Emily's busy right now. I'm not 100% sure if she can unmute herself to talk, but we have a social committee going on and they came up with this idea. All right. Next thing on here is we're going to, so the EC was hard at work and discovered 3 RDOs and a RCM. The ref coach manager, this is the person that's going to be in charge of herding the referee coaches, making sure that we can upskill them and manage them and make sure that we're sending everybody to the right spots. So because I had to introduce and talk about that spot, I can pass it to Paul. Paul, if you're ready, give a couple of minutes on your thoughts and theories on ref coach management.
Right. So the idea is really just to coordinate the referee coaches with the RDO. So part of your development plan involves you as a referee and also you as a coach, and also those out there who also act as coaches. So the idea is to just kind of work more deliberately with your development plan, getting you a coach. Maybe it's a season-long coach. Maybe it's a coach for a single game. Maybe it's also coordinating the coaches discussing if it's a single game, one-off coach every single time you referee, or every so often when you get watched, just to coordinate that and make sure that there is a progression and we're watching what's happening with your development for promotion, advancement, and also your own personal growth. Make sure you're still, having fun and getting what you want to get out of Rocky Mountain Rugby referees. Again, that's what we're here for, is to help support you and develop you as a referee. And this is just a way to coordinate both the RDO, the development officers, with the coaches that are available, and also bring along some new coaches and kind of get them some more information and practice in coaching, and then also make sure we're all kind of just, I guess, doing it the right way. I think that anyone who's kind of depends on who you are, but if you've been coached for many years or a long number of years, sometimes you get great feedback, sometimes you get horrible feedback, and we just want to make sure that everyone's kind of towing the same line. You're getting the support you need, and it's a positive experience for everybody. So that's really the goal there. So not really 5 minutes on that, Joe, but it's just a real quick what we're about. So I haven't reached out to all you coaches out there yet to set this up. I'm still kind of waiting for my list of people we can kind of coordinate, and then we'll try to have a couple of conversations just to kind of see where we're all at, and we'll work on that as a side note, and then involve the RDOs going forward. We have until April, Mark says, right, for the first games, April 5th. So we have a little time to kind of coordinate that with you all. So that's all I've got, Joe. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Paul. And any currently active or not active referees that are part of our group that are looking to become referee coaches, we are planning on hosting a CMO, which is coach of match officials, level 1 at sometime in March. This will align with our first L1, which is the referee level 1. So if you don't have that, please make sure that you do before you referee your first game. And then we can we can pair you two together with a experienced referee, and we can work that through a jamboree. That's our intent as a group. Of course, weather permitting, we're trying to get these things back to back when it comes to that. So rolling right along. Ray, if you're available, we've got Ray Hernandez, who is going to be taking our newest referees from an L1, fresh out of the L1 to the point of safety. So think of it as a level 10 referee to a level 9 referee, I guess.
Yeah, hello everyone. If you haven't met me, I'm Ray. I probably wouldn't be your RDO because if you're here, you're not new. But the idea is to take people who've never gone on the pitch and give them like, hey, like this is what is going to happen your first time. And also I'll be working with the Monday night 8th grade freshman sophomore games to help onboard those new refs through those matches.
Great. Thanks, Ray. Short and sweet. Appreciate it. Hopefully, like most people going through Ray's control, going from right into games and stuff, but some people like it's important to do that. So Ray will also be assisting people with, as Mark put in the chat, but because this is recorded, not everybody's going to be able to see the chat. Part of the requirement is making sure that you are signed up with USA Rugby. That's not optional, like some people on the internet think that it is. You need to sign up and you need to register as a referee with USA Rugby, pass all of their, they're ready to ref kind of things. Thanks, Mark, for sharing your screen. And making sure that you are registered with Rocky Mountain RS. That is a Colorado-based group. So for our friends that are up in Wyoming, sorry, you have to go and get yourself with Rocky Mountain in Colorado. If you're not listed on here, you're deemed a non-active referee. We have a very large pool of those people. So yeah. Mark, anything that you want to add on the Rocky Mountain registration? If you're not part of Ref Up, which is our assignment process, and we'll go more into Ref Up later.
Yeah, so when you if you are signed up with USA Rugby referee and Melissa is a referee like through a club like Boulder Rugby or something like that, we just need you to dual register, which is for free through USA Rugby. I'll send a video through the chat on how to dual register. It's really free and easy. And then again, we'll sign you up and Ref Up and assign you a level, and then Ref Up. USA Rugby. Yeah, I think that's it.
Great. Thanks. So once you graduate, and for most people in this on this Zoom call right now, and most people in the society, I'm going to introduce the next person that will take you through this process. And if you want to talk about what level you're supposed to be at, if you think that you're a 7 and we have you listed as an 8, I'm going to introduce John Kenny. He's your RDO for those levels. John, take it away.
All righty, now I got the unmute done. So yeah, for those of you who haven't met me, John Kenny, been involved and around the game for quite some time. Been reffing off and on for about the last 10 years or so. And I think that something that Mark always says, and Rick Goldaner as well, is that, you guys, you need to take charge of your responsibility for what you want to do. If you want to strive and try to make it to a national appointment, then you need to put together a plan and put your plan in place. And it starts with knowledge and fitness more than anything else. The other thing I do like, and Jim pointed it out, and I agree with Rick Goldamer as well, is have fun out there. When you're on the field, smile, don't take it personally. People can be, foolish, but at the same point in time, if you're a steady hand and a consistent referee, then you usually will win the respect of the players. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm here, like I said, as a sounding board and as a resource to get you to where your goal is. And so you've got my email, and I'll certainly reach out. If you reach out to me, you can either text or email me, either way. And then we can have a chat and then go from there. That's my personal opinion.
Great. I appreciate that. Thanks, John. Yeah. John has right now the most unenviable task of our RDOs, because it's a large chunk of the population. Some people like to have a good steady hand at their back to allow them to move forward. And then some people like to just go on their own and just check in with us from time to time. So the best thing that you can do, just to make sure that John isn't completely inundated with contact, is when you reach out to John, is also to make sure that you CC me and Mark. We're both assisting John with that, as well as getting peer review in there. Talk to your friends, and that's where the social does come in, pushing the social again. So come attend to that. Finally, Brian, if you're available, I'll have you introduce yourself, talk about who you work with, all that other kind of fun stuff.
You guys hear me?
Can hear you.
All right. Yeah, Murphy. Yeah. So thanks, Joe. I am the HP RDO, and so our group is not necessarily the focus of RMRR, but certainly something that we are working to be kind of like an example of top-down type leadership, where we will look to grow our high performance development and use that as a model on where we see our local development. And just insofar as case examples of what we're learning at the national level and sometimes above, and how that trickles down into things we can implement at the community level. So there are two other referee development officers that are part of the group here. Stop, please, Murphy. And we're working in tandem to, make that line of communication as seamless as possible. But what we will look to accomplish in the months to come will be high performance referees training an individual session on every monthly meeting. So it may be just kind of the general theme and the topics that we are noticing at the national level that can start to be implemented at the community level, because that's everybody's idea of growth, right? I mean, from youth sports all the way up through college, and then Division III, Division II rugby, whatever it all comes up to, right? People are trying to grow and have a consistent message across the board. And so our job really is to help share that message and dissect it into a way that we can approach it at all levels. So that's really our role. We're always open to having that high performance door extended to other referees. So if that's something that you're very interested in, let's have a conversation about that reality and understand the commitment and the expectations at the next level. It's something we're always open to share. And honestly, that conversation, if not with me, which I'm always open to have, can be also had with others. Right now, it's a pretty small group, but it's focused and they're working really hard to achieve the next level. And yeah, anything else, Joe, you think I should cover that?
No, that's really it. I appreciate it, Brian. The HP group is much more of a, it's not being selected by Rocky Mountain. It's more a focus, a network work group rather than a run by an RDO, that kind of thing.
But there is room for, you know, if that's your objective as a referee, to become a high performance part of this organization, let us know, because there is room to have two-way communication and advocate for you. But again, it should really come off the expectation of what is to be achieved at that level from fitness standards, law knowledge, and performance. It's not for everybody, but we will certainly dedicate resources if you're willing to make that commitment. So by no means is it a closed door. The other pathways at the high performance level is in coaching and organization. I mean, you know, we all know rugby, so we know that organizational leadership is something that we're always begging for at the higher level. So if that's something you're strong at, then certainly approach Joe, myself, and we're always welcome to trying to support you and nurture your skill sets however we can.
Exactly. So so those are our RDOs and ref coach manager. So everybody has a peer that they can work with, and they can watch from as a third party. You know, when you go out onto the field, run out onto the field. I know that everybody likes to know that they're working to improve, as well as the teams knowing. That you are working to improve. I would be remiss, Ken Stone, we have here. I can, if you want to say something, feel free. He's the new director of Rugby Colorado.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, thanks for letting me join in and listen to everything. I've just everyone aware, I have just shared the schedules for D1 through to D3. They've been sent to the coaches, and we'll be in a situation of trying to get these uploaded on RefUp and things, and working with you as referees. But sort of 2 weeks into my role and getting to grips, understanding how Rugby Colorado like to do necessary things. There's going to be a couple of changes as we go through that process, but everyone can see in the chat itself. There's the shared schedule, so you'll be able to see what games are going on and things like that. So I just want to say hello to everyone, and see you out on the youth and high school rugby pitches. Thank you.
Great, I appreciate it. Thanks, Ken.
No worries.
Mark, did you want to say something, or were you just waving at Ken? Okay. So with all the talks, with all this talk of RDOs, and then you will soon see all the information regarding leagues and match levels and all that other kind of stuff. I just want to let everybody know that there will be a more in-depth video talking about everything from how to discover what your match level is, realizing that this is just a starting point. A lot of people did not get their full fill of of games last year because of COVID. We're working our way through that, back into normalcy, and people are now starting to see what their match fitness is, both physically as well as mentally, as well as their appetite for rugby. Some people kind of discovered that they like to do other stuff on the weekends, and that is completely fine. Rugby will be here for you. So we'll be able to talk through that whole thing. The one thing that as the season is starting to look to start, the one thing that I did want to talk through was making sure that everybody gets signed up for Ref Up. If you have not already, you have not. Realistically, if you're on here, I'm looking through everybody. I think Ken is the only one that's not signed up. So great. If that's the case, we should be able to know how to do that. If you don't, we'll send a little clip on how to bid and apply for games. We are going to have a more assured hand for when it comes to assignments. It's not going to just be everyone for themselves. The RDOs are going to be a little bit more suggesting of games for people outside of maybe what their comfort level is for when we want them to advance, or if there's something that we need them to work on. For example, hey, we need you to work on scrums. These two teams are two big packs. We're gonna make a suggestion for you on that. Are there any questions? I know that I've blown through a lot of information right now. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, so if the RDOs are going to have some sort of role, does that mean we're unplugging the sort of boost system on Ref Up?
No, it'll not be a disengaging of it. It might be more, this specific game would be right for you. So we can suggest that to you. And if you're like, hey, we're suggesting this game, it's up in Boulder, and you're like,
Right.
Saturday, game's supposed to be at Saturday at 1 o'clock, done by 3. I have a thing at 4. I understand completely not wanting to go up to Boulder, but this is not a thing that we want to go through. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, some of the feedback we're getting from the clubs and other sources are that some of the referees, as Ref Up progresses, it's a bidding system, and some of the referees are like, I only want to kind of do something close to home, or if I didn't get this high level match, I don't want to do any match. So we're going to try and go in there and make some suggestions. They are suggestions. You are all contractors. We can't tell you what to do. We don't want to tell you what to do, but we do need to get other faces out to Laramie, other faces out to Grand Junction, other faces out to Marino, not Grand Junction to Western State. So we're kind of going to have a little bit more input on it, like, hey, Joe Burpo, we know you haven't been to Laramie. Why don't you go referee this D2 men's game at Lind? So if you can do that. And again, like if you have a schedule conflict, great, we'll try something else. But we are going to try and have a little more input than just kind of having a free for all. And again, like if a Steve Gordon needs to be tested on something, we may isolate a game. That's a good opportunity for Steve Gore to go referee this match. And it's out there and up there, but we could only take away everyone's ability to bid on it because it's a good match for Steve Gore or Mark Cuff or whatever. We're going to have a little bit more of a hand. So match suggestions will be coming out a little bit more, and we would like you to strongly consider doing that, because there's a rhyme and reason that we're putting you on those games. Either it's to get new faces out to obscure places, and we need just to have different referees see those teams. It's fair to the teams, or it's a development opportunity for you. So please strongly consider the match suggestions. And again, like if you can't do it, I understand, but if you can, go ahead and take that match.
So, I mean, do you envision that this would be after you see who's bid on various matches and on a Wednesday or a Thursday, you come and say, could you guys switch, or is it?
Well,
I mean, I thought the whole idea of Ref Up was to make it a lot more hands off on you guys, on the people, and on the operations side.
well, everything evolves a little bit, and some of
Right. Sure. Yeah.
and we're also trying to get, I mean, Ken's been great about getting this schedule. I'm working with Eric to get the club schedule more so in advance than just, hey, this match got added Thursday. Holy shit, Paul Pettit, can you go cover this match? So we can have a stronger foundation of when the games are, and we can kind of plan, and you guys can go in there and see this stuff and whatnot. And feel free to like reach out to your RDOs and like, hey, I feel like I'm ready to make the next step, or I've passed these competencies that I've sent to you in there. I think I'm really nailing these 4 competencies I'd like to get looked at. Then we could put a great coach like Joe Zevin on you to have you kind of somewhat evaluated and see if, on a higher level match, to see if you can start working on the competencies above you, stuff like that. And we can have a little bit more control than just the bidding system. I would imagine it's the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the games are open to bid, but there are some things we want to tweak around a little bit and get different faces out to serve our customers and get some development opportunities for those looking to make the step up.
Yeah, the idea is not to have so heavy of a control on the till, but it's to have something so that way we don't go buck wild and crash into the side of the board.
Well, I think it's also important to just recognize that the perspective is that, the executive committee and RDOs, we're actively speaking to both ends of the spectrum, from what USA Rugby is looking to accomplish and various competitions, to what, Rugby Colorado is looking to accomplish. And so across the board, those conversations are being had on a weekly basis. So there's added perspectives that the EC has and the RDOs have that kind of help influence these decisions. So it's not really necessarily the attempt to take away power from our members as much as to provide perspective and provide opportunities based on the inside knowledge that is being received. And I think that's just an important kind of piece of perspective there. We're in it all together to grow rugby in the best way we can. And so, to have it just be receiving this information and then letting just the members decide what matches they want, we're not always fulfilling everybody's needs in the best way possible. So this is kind of our attempt to grow and evolve the situation. And of course, things we're always open to feedback and growing together as a group.
Exactly. Thanks, Brian. All right, so assuming, like I said, a more in-depth video, because it'll be an evergreen video. It'll talk about match levels and how to find out what your competencies are, your implied competencies are, and things that you need to work on, and then what that level associates to a league. So that way you're not out of your depth inherently. The idea being that, if we want to see what you look like out of your depth, we can throw that to you, so that way you're not just completely eaten alive. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to talk. I'm just going to show quickly. Okay, cool. All right, so first things first, on Ref Up. So this is just this is your pool. This everybody should have one level here, the RMR level blank. This is your number of boosts, and this is the number of matches that you've done. Anyways, so as we start to come up with you start to get assignments, you will be contacted by a certain time according to the league schedule. If you do not get contacted in X period of time, you are I hope that you don't reach out to the teams, because that sets a bad precedent. I would like you to contact us, the EC, so that way we can gently remind at first the teams that they are supposed to be contacting them. So once you are contacted, you can reply back with something similar to this. This is on the website, along with the link, this link here, the 2021 game management guidelines. That will be updated. You don't have to have all of this detail. Later in the season, everybody understands that your match rosters need to be filled out in CMS. They know what the technical zone is, but it's still a suggestion to put in there, so that way people know to look for it. That is part of your ref up checklist, if you will, if you want to get paid. That plus the mileage. You're expected to say, yes, there were ropes. The teams were a 4 out of 5, and then you can put a little comment. Something else that we're going to implement is, if you were coached on the day in person, you're going to be able to make a comment about the coach, whether it was positive or things that they can work on, because everybody can have something to work on. Nobody is perfect. When you ascend to that level, you retire and become a sheep farmer in Wales or something like that. Other questions? So the website is the answer for a lot of your needs. Look to it first. The big one that you're going to have is mileage. Look at that shortly. All of these things will come out with your beginning of season document that we'll send out. Moving on. Okay. Oops. Okay. So moving on to that. Moving on from that, excuse me. We have, I don't know how to get rid of this. There you go. Sorry. We do have kit and kit reimbursement. So Rocky Mountain has a policy of earning credits. You can see this here. New referees to Rocky Mountain. So that is not just new to refereeing, but new to the area, and you are an active member of Rocky Mountain. You start to earn credits, and you can see your the credits here. All of this is available here on the RMR kit reimbursement page. Just click around through it. We're going to update this website a little bit more and a little bit more actively. You are expected to keep track of the of your credits, and you don't get to, and it's only during a season. That's until the end of, I think we determined that it's the end of June, end of May, end of some month. I'll let you know. And then you have until the end of the next season to utilize it. So that way we're not trying to count everything from 5 years ago to make sure that that works. You can then utilize that. You let us know, you make the purchase. We confirm through Ref Up that you actually did all the matches that you said you did. And then we'll send you the reimbursement. Your reimbursement can be used on things such as this. This is our stock. This is on Bushi. That's B as in boy, OOSHIE, Bushi. And we're going to slowly add to this. We're hoping to do one item a season, or so 2 items a year. Then the next thing up is going to be a polo. Once we work with Bushi to get that in, we'll be able to do that. The last thing I want to remind everybody about, we already talked about this, was the referee scholarship application. So if you're a resourceful little person and would like to go do an assignment that's not necessarily an exchange, it's not organized through us, through Rocky Mountain, you can then go and apply to for the referee scholarship. This will have a limited amount of money, so a good application is required. So that's everything from where you're going to go, how it's going to benefit you, how it's going to benefit us, Rocky Mountain. So that might mean that the next monthly meeting, it's not just going to be photos of, your time in Turks and Caicos, but what you learned there, and how us that stayed here in 5-degree weather get to learn about. We will provide up to 75% of the cost to travel, because that will put a little bit of a onus on the attending referee or ref coach to go. How do I stop sharing? Stop share. All right. So are there any questions on those 2 policies? Let's see, I'm looking through here. Can we expand the sizes, especially on socks? I wear a size 13 and they fit fine. They do stretch. If you're if you think that you're Scott Green and you have amazing calves.
It's the calves, Joe. So calves. They don't fit the calves.
Yes. I believe that these are one size fits all, not one size fits the most.
No, they're most, not all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll help fund somebody's the sizes if your calves are that big.
I don't think BLK makes a bigger one. I mean, that's the thing. BLK doesn't make one, so I have it. I went and bought, I think maybe Gilbert or Adidas blue socks to match, but sort of.
Okay.
It's a BLK thing, I think.
Right.
Not Bushi.
Right on.
Well, one thing on kit, like if everyone has all the kit, and we're gonna try and do a little bit better of adding something every season, essentially. It's great. We don't want you all to wear the kit as much as possible. Essentially, you have the jerseys. You have 4 different colors, but if you needed some trainers or other stuff, if you're all the kit, we're happy to reimburse for anything you need to get you become a better referee.
Yeah, and for bang for your buck, these are definitely the best jerseys. I'm not just saying that because I'm part of the society, but it's, they're $65 for 2, and they're high quality. We really hope that people do that, buy the jersey and wear that jersey when you're in society and out of society. One of the things that we're going to start to look into is how do we sell ad space? The referee should be in every picture, unless it's super zoomed in. If there's 2 players in a contact point, a referee should be there. So we can then sell the ad space on chest, back, shoulders, jackets, that kind of thing. So the more people wear our kit, the legitimately later down the line, the cheaper it can be. My hope is that we would be able to at least be able to fund ourselves 1 set of jerseys But that's, that's further down the line, and I understand that. So the more that we wear our kit, the better our kit will be. Let's see. Kit bags. Unfortunately, I think that Bushi might have like some stock sizes, but I don't, or a stock kit bags. But as it stands right now, that was a super custom order. And that's the whole thing with this company, is that we have to have minimum quantities and to go through it. Are there any questions? Jackets are going to be the next thing that I would like to do. So I was down in Texas this past weekend, and a lot of their CMOs have a micro puff jacket. They call it a sideline jacket, so it hangs down below your waist. They looked really warm, mainly because I was really cold, but they looked really warm, and yeah, so those were pretty good. We'll be looking into those as well. Yeah. Are there any questions on kit or travel policy or policies of the Rocky Mountain Rugby Referee Society? Okay, cool. The last thing, because as Emily so rightly pointed out to me, Zoom fatigue is real. We'll kind of end with what to look forward to over the next month. So,
hey Joe, sorry to interrupt there, but
yeah, sure, Gil.
Have y'all found a replacement for Haggerty as ops officer? I need to get things transferred over to whomever will not be in the executive function, so you have dual controls.
Right. So right now we're working with some people to make sure that we have that as an appointment through Haggerty. We're working with him through that. So I'll get back to you as quickly as I can, Gil.
All right,
Sorry,
thank you.
Did Haggerty step down?
Yeah, Haggerty's new job is precluding him to make the time available to perform this task to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any questions on that? We're working through the bylaws and all the policies and stuff like that, so to get it handled. Luckily, this is still the
Okay. The two remaining people can appoint whoever they want, is what the bylaws say. We had this issue when Coburn couldn't serve as the chairman anymore because of his real life events up in Grand County, and we appointed Derek for that interim chair until the next election.
Yep.
So having been through it somewhat recently, that's what the bylaw says. So just let me know. We're starting to run into deadlines to try to run into tax season. So I just want to make sure I set that person up for success.
Of course, I appreciate that. Yeah, that is definitely high up on our list to do. And so yeah, that's something that we're working through offline. Any other additional questions? All right. So looking forward into the next month, we will be, for some, we'll be hoping to get some matches, all of course weather permitting. The month of February is the shortest month, so not much going on here. This is the last plug that I'll say verbally for the scavenger hunt. It's free to members. It's free to non-members until we get to 13 teams right now. I think that we have like 6 or 7. So a lot of time available. You have to fill out that form that I had sent out. So that way I know that you're interested. I'm not assuming that everybody is interested. And you get to experience all that. Also, tell your friends, tell your relatives. We'll be having an L1 and a CMO1 in March. That'll be our little push for that. You're going to see a lot of that coming out, as well as we're going to be having an L1 up in Fort Collins. Date and time to be confirmed. I know that I've already reached out to 10 people, or have already been reached out by 10 people to attend. So if you want to do that up in Fort Collins, time is limited, or space is starting to become limited there, but we will get people into at least one of those. Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Jim, I haven't been, like, he just sent me that link to the, I think it was a Google form or something like that. He sent that during the meeting. So I haven't been able to review because I've been here sitting and talking to all of you. We will send out a new meeting for your calendars, just to make sure that everybody's on the page. I don't know what we need 8 means. Somebody went through and changed the password. But yeah. All right, cool. Mark, if you want to stop the recording.